In this video, we're gonna walk you through how to assemble your Alpha office chair equipped with a BCS or a BBS control mechanism. And so if you have this chair shipped ground to you, you're gonna have these components that we have laid out here. This chair does come fully assembled, but usually it makes more sense to ship that LTL versus ground. So if you did get your chair shipped ground, you're gonna have these components. You're gonna have your base assembly with the casters already installed, your cylinder, your seat assembly with the arms already installed, and your backrest. And so right now we're gonna walk you through how to assemble the BBS mechanism, and then we'll also walk you through afterwards how to assemble the BCS mechanism. The only tool required is gonna be a 1/2" wrench. And so I have that right here, and then I also have a drill just to make the process a little bit faster. The first step is gonna be to install our cylinder. So we're gonna remove this protective cap, drop the cylinder into the base. You'll notice I have the base still wrapped up. The reason why I do that is because while I'm doing some of the other assembly, sometimes it's helpful to have that stability in the base. If the casters are rolling around, sometimes the chair gets a little bit more movement and it makes the assembly a little harder. So I always keep that attached onto the base, and then we'll remove it at the end. The next step is to install the seat assembly. So right here, we're gonna attach the cylinder right here to this receiver. Just like that. Once we've done that, I like to raise the cylinder to the highest position. What that does is it lifts the chair up, gives us a little more room to work. And so the highest position. Next, we're gonna assemble the backrest. The hardware for the backrest is gonna come already installed into the upright, just so you know where they go and so we don't lose them. So I've already removed that hardware here, but what we're gonna do, remove that hardware and then insert the backrest right here into the mechanism, just like that. You wanna hold the backrest with one hand. Then we're gonna go underneath here, line up our hardware, install and start it by hand, just to make sure we don't strip any threads. These are 5/16 bolts, hex head with a wedge lock washer. So once we have that, what we're gonna do is tighten the bolts. We're gonna tighten the bolts just before snug, so that way we can adjust the backrest, make sure everything aligns before we really tighten it down tight. At this point, we wanna make sure that everything aligns right. So what I'm gonna do is take a look at the chair, make sure the backrest, all the lines look right. The vertical lines match up with the seat. The spacing with the arms looks even, just like that. And then tighten it down. Right now I'm going low torque, so I don't strip anything. And I'm gonna use this just to hand tighten it at the end. These are wedge lock washers, and so to really engage that lock, we wanna make sure these are fairly tight. So those washers dig into each other, and then also to the bolt and the steel. Once we've done that, your chair is fully assembled and you're good to go. Make sure you sit on it a few times just to really set that cylinder in place. And then that's it. That's the process. If you have a BCS control mechanism, the back tail of the control is gonna look like this. It's gonna be a flat back tail as opposed to an angled back tail on the BBS. And so installing the upright, you go through the same process, it just looks a little bit different as far as where the attachment goes. So we set the upright right in place on top of that back tail, and the same thing. We take this, start our bolts by hand, so we make sure we thread them and don't cross thread and strip the bolts. Just like that. Just like we did with the BBS, we get these bolts just before snug, so that way we're gonna do our final adjustment and alignment before we tighten them down. Once we've done that, we want to make sure that the lines look right. Everything is straight. Spacing between the armrests looks good and even. Once we do that, take our drill, tighten the bolts down. Low torque, we don't want to strip anything. And then we want to engage these wedge lockers. Take it, tighten it down by hand. Once we've done that, the backrest is secure and the chair is assembled, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions about this process of assembling the Alpha office chair with the BCS or BBS control mechanism, please feel free to give us a call at the office and we'd be happy to help you.